Ever get that feeling like you want to really understand something, get the full picture, but without having to wade through the tons of information? Today we are looking at Rupen Patel's story. Rupen's positive energy is contagious. Hello, Rupen. How are you today?
Very well. Good morning. That is a seriously exhilarating introduction. So, yeah, a pleasure to be on with you, Greg. It's been a long time coming, my friend.
Absolutely, Rupen. What I would like the listeners, and if you're watching this, to experience what I'm experiencing every time we meet in person, it's the energy you have. Because when I hear from our mutual friends how great it is to be in a room with you, that's exactly what I want to come through. Let's begin, because your story, it is very inspirational for a majority of people who are stuck in their current role. They are thinking about, this is not what I want to do. How can I leave this job after 20 years or 30 years of working and now leave to start over? I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, whatever they are. This is your story, Rupen, and I would like you to share with the audience.
Thank you so much, Greg. It is a pleasure to share. And one of the big reasons I come on podcasts and do speaker sessions is even if it's two people, one person, or 20,000 people, if I can say something that'll help one person, it was worth doing it because at one point, someone done that for me. That's why I was so grateful to come onto your show today. So,
Your career, you started a very hands-on bricklaying and working market stalls. Is that right?
yeah, that's right. So, Steve Jobs says, join the dots up backwards. Long story short, went to school, Indian family. Mum was saying, you're going to be one of three things. You're going to be a doctor, an accountant, or a failure. A little bit of a black sheep of the family. I ended up becoming a bricklayer because I loved building houses. I really wanted to become a bricklayer. I did 4 years of brickwork, did my sitting guilds, did advanced crafting of brickwork, etc. Then what happened was a recession happened in the 80s. Then I went on to work the market stalls down in South London. I was actually selling everything for £1. So I'd get something,
Wow.
so 50p in a pound, which lasted about 3 or 4 years, which was a great experience. So I was probably one of the first pound shops out there as a pound stall, everything for £1. I didn't realise it was easy for me to add stuff up, right? And then someone said to me, look, there's a warehousing job, a reputable kitchen company, Magnet Kitchens, who had done a trade
Mhm.
business as well. And I remember starting that, and my dad was ill, mum's working, and it was basically me paying the mortgage, and my first wages just about covered the mortgage. From there, it was a 25 career, absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. I met some amazing people. From warehouse boy, ended up into meetings in boardrooms and regional field
So
management roles.
after 25 years, rising to that senior position in your
Mm.
kitchen supply industry, what made you decide to walk away and start fresh? Like,
A lot of people ask me that because people are going to be sitting in their careers. This is my safe spot. I don't like it, or I'm
yes.
not feeling it, or I fell out of love with it, but I'm doing it because I've got to protect my family. And that's totally understandable. But I got to a stage where I was coming up to 50 years old in my 25th year of the company. It was COVID. I was in love with
Mm.
it, but I was falling out of love with it. And when you get to that in your career, it's like, I was struggling to get out of bed in the morning. Like normally for 24 years, I was out 10 minutes early, first person in store, last person out of the store, regardless of what multi-chain it is. They go
Hmm.
through a 5 year cycle. Five of them cycles I saw. New ownership, leadership teams, new strategies. I love change. I adapt to
Yes.
change quickly, but it's got to be the right change, right? And you've got to feel that you've got to be part of that.
You understood those 5 year cycles. You were like fully aware it's coming again. You were going up the ladder. And at that point, it's like, we're going to do it again.
Yes, they're going to do that again. I've got the energy, but do I want to be doing it for them or do I want to be doing it for myself?
There you go.
Yeah, I've got four children. I've got Tracy, who you know, who is my
Yes.
fiance. We also take care of mum at home as well. There was quite a big pressure then going, like, if I was to move, and when these opportunities come, they get disguised in different forms as well. So I basically took that opportunity to shake hands and depart from a company that served me well and I served them well.
You obviously, you're well aware of entrepreneurial risk you're going to take.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. But what me and myself and Tracy, we actually set out a 10-year plan. If we're going to do the entrepreneurship, we're going to have to become a little bit more frugal. We're going
Yes.
to have to go through a whole learning cycle again. We committed to that. From there, we were in the right mindset. However, what you don't know, you don't know.
I was following your story on the social media, and you're not really splashing out as much on the social media. But I understand that you're hosting a PIN meeting. I've also learned from that about your near bankruptcy lessons. Can you share the moment, about when that led to a near bankruptcy?
Two things. One was about the repossession. That was back in the
Yes.
90s. Which takes me back on to before my career. I didn't really know what I was doing. And then we bought a couple of shops as well. Young
Okay.
person, didn't have the coaching, didn't have the support. It was very, very difficult. And I didn't have the mechanism, the network, or the support. I went to court, fought for it, won the house back, got the family back in, and it was heartbreaking. It was darkest days. You'll learn from your darkest days, and
You do.
and it will create that motivation for that to never happen again. You will learn from it.
Going through hard experience like the ones you had to go through, they do actually help you make those hard decisions later in life. Like, I now just devoted 25 years to this company, and I need to do something for myself now. I need to be a little bit more selfish and look after my family. All of that, I'm sure it helped you make that decision as well.
Yeah, it was to get out your own way when you do these sort of things. But the biggest thing is have the plan. And then also speak very openly, even with my children, what's the worst thing that can happen? And we got down to the darkest point of saying, if this doesn't work, we lose everything. We end up in a rented accommodation or council accommodation, but we all stay together. And so that is the worst case
Mm.
scenario. And if we don't do it, we're just going to run our lives as we are. There's a bit of a win-win, but really, would that internally make me happy? Because I was losing my spark inside, not on the outside,
Yes.
because people can put a front on as well, but they're actually crumbling inside.
Rupen, every time we met, I can see you being exactly in that zone. Is it the
Mm.
mask, or is it you, or is it combination of both?
Now it's me inside
Okay.
because I'm out to share because people help me. I want to help people. So there was a 2-year gap that I was really digging deep, and that's what made me make the decision. It's just like
Mm.
knowing if when you're happy inside. No, and it's not, are you happy with your children? Are you happy with your parents or your spouse? Or you've got to look inside. You've got to really ask yourself, is this what life's all about? The world needs solutions in problems, right? Whatever your niche
Yes.
is. That's what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do it for me and my family.
How you're managing to divide your attention between both businesses, the 4 kids, and your partner, and you also continue your personal development. How do you manage to find time for all of these?
When I first left the career, for 2 years, I was all over the shop. I'd done a couple of flips, bought an HMO, did a rent to rent, and did about 16 or 17 refurbishments for different clients. Something was going to break. There's one of my favorite mantras on Property Entrepreneur. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. I'll give you a second one that really resonated with me and sort of really hit home. The grass is greenest where you water it the most. I've taken them two mantras and sort of implemented it into how I'm dividing my time, what I'm focusing my time on. So that's how I'm dividing my time. Once you're good and in a good place, you can give other people that quality of time, that quality of value as well. But really, diary management, Jim Rohn says, when you're on a beach, enjoy the beach. When you're at work, enjoy the work.
Prioritizing self-care to provide quality time and value for
Yeah.
others. Okay, there's a saying for that. That is a provider. So it's almost like you are there to serve other people, and then is you.
I'm a protector and I'm a man of service. You put it out, there's a
Yes.
good chance it's going to come back. I'm a man of mantras. I live by them. Uh,
I know, and I really enjoy your mantras
yeah.
too. So
So and one of the ones I love, and it's on a lot of our for our kitchen company.
yes.
I say a lot for our customer values to internally for my team is give and forget, but receive and remember.
Listen,
You
people,
could say.
take notes from today's episode because Rupen has a lot of mantras for you, and they are very deep and they carry with them an amazing meaning. And we will explain what the meaning is for Rupen, but it could help you and your journey. Rupen, if we now unfold your entrepreneurial side of your journey, it's you've set up Marstar Properties. Tell us about how did that came to be.
When I left my corporate job, I need to go and get some coaching. I fell upon Simon Zuti with the Property Investor Network, and I then embarked on a year of Mastermind with him. And it was a brilliant year. I learned a lot more about strategies, done some projects, done some refurbishments, as I've said. Really just absorbed the how and the strategies, developing them property strategies into a business. I then embarked onto Property Entrepreneur. I then had created as a company. It's allowing me to trade, do the refurbs through it. So that was Master Properties. We rent to rent. So we set up City and Borough Estates Limited, which holds our rent to rent portfolio. We now got our interiors business, which is Kitchens with Tracy. It was a very small, little bit of a lifestyle business that Tracy is a founder of, and I contribute a lot of time, advice on, and now actually it's become more of my 70% in my working week. So as that's growing. So
Did you know at that time that property might be the avenue you're going to explore?
the reason I was leaving Magnet was to go into property and build a portfolio. We had a couple of buy to lets. We saw the fruits of that labour come through. Money was very cheap then, right? The money was
It
cheap,
was.
cheaper than it is now to borrow. So the reward was good. Then we learnt about HMOs, and I learnt a lot more about development.
Making decisions sometimes it doesn't rely on the data available. Sometimes we have to listen to our gut feeling and go with it.
And it's got to be relevant. When I talk to people in the network and in our space, and I'll say is it relevant to your journey? Is it going to make your speedboat go faster? People do actually also get slowed up as well by too much data, analysis paralysis.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes.
It's so sometimes you've got to listen to your mindset, which you also need to work on, and you need to go with your gut intuition as well.
And can you provide an example of a significant project that you've completed, may stands out, or something that you can share, relevant
Yeah.
experience from that?
Well, one of my first ones, which I really enjoyed and I took massive learnings from, and it was kind of lucrative. So it really
When you say
helped me
kind
on
of
the journey.
lucrative, did you expect it for it not to be profitable?
I think there's a difference between good profit and lucrative. Right? So it
So
was one of
let's
my
listen
first.
to this.
No one really is going to go, oh, what you doing? Sometimes you will get the naysayers, but everyone's quite damn supportive if you've got a good network, a good support system around you. I was looking to do a flip. All I did was I put a message on my WhatsApp status saying, looking for properties to refurbishment, looking for people with property problems. If you know anyone in this position, and I just stuck it and pressed it and I sent it to my whole phone book, right? About 3 or 4 or 5 people come back to us, but there was one in particular who had a mother who was in a bit of a derelict house. Long story short, she couldn't even use the upstairs. Bless her, she couldn't even walk upstairs. So she was living down in a living room. The bigger the problem, the bigger the profit, right?
Yes.
So, and it needs to be a win win. The daughter who'd contacted me, she wanted her mum to live with her, but they didn't have enough room in the house. But mum, albeit 80 years old, was very independent. Why I'm telling you this is when we are speaking to motivated sellers, is really try to find out their pain points and get the whole scope of the picture. And that can only take half hour, 45 minutes, just asking the right questions. The resolution was we then built a annex bungalow in the back of the daughter's garden, a little bit up because a habitual outbuilding is shunned upon by the council. But what I did was we got social workers, health workers, and her doctor to write, and we put that in with the planning permission, and we got granted. So basically, mum moves in with daughter. I took over the house, put it on a 6-month purchase option. So we're going to do it. So it gave me 6 months without buying it, refurbished it, sold it. But I also did the refurbishment and built the bungalow at the garden.
Yes.
That took about 6 to 8 months. We had a fight with a big oak tree and building control. Mum was happy. The oak tree was happy. The oak tree was happy. Building control happy. It was all done. And then I took the family away on a small break to Portugal. And then
Nice.
it was lovely that halfway through it, the money hit the bank. The amount of shitty, dark days I had within that project, but that's where you'll get your best learnings from it. You know, I'm not encouraging you to go and find these problems, but
Yes.
you'll
They
learn from
find
your
you.
problems. Oh my
They will
days, yeah,
find
yeah.
you.
Oh,
You said you put a message on your WhatsApp looking for properties to refurbish, looking for
yeah.
people with property problems. How difficult this is. It's not. So do it. If you're looking for a property right now, just do it. Do like that. Change your WhatsApp status. This is brilliant. Well done to you,
Do it.
brother. Well done to you. So you've done a few beforehand, but that deal sounds absolutely amazing. What was the worst that happened during that project?
Cash flow. In any business, sales will never kill a business. Cash flow will. It will strangle it. That's where I learned how to work with investors. You'll be surprised how many people will knock on your door. If you do it correctly and compliantly, just let people know that you are looking for investment. One of my very old contacts, Rupen, been having a look at your Facebook posts. I really like what you're doing. I'm looking to invest. Can we meet? I met. We had a couple of cups of coffee. He says, I want to invest. I like that project. I've got about X amount of money to invest. Brilliant. And so I knew it had covered what I needed. Are you okay with giving me that full amount? And he goes, well, yeah, that's what I'm here for. How much interest rate do you want for it? And he goes, that. And I said, that's perfect. And we've done the deal.
You've done it in a right, correct way, just to make sure that you're not infringing on FCA regulations. If you want to find out, just contact Rupen and he will tell you how he did it. So the synergy between your property business and Kitchens with Tracy is quite unique. How did the idea for Kitchen with Tracy come about?
It is kitchens. I love kitchens. We are very passionate. They are the biggest pain in the arses. Myself and Tracy have always been in the kitchen design, supply, manufacture industry, as you know, with Magnet Kitchens. Her old boss says, look, we want to get into London. We haven't broken London. Would you and Rupen do it? Well, Tracy said, well, Rupen won't because he's doing his property. However, I will. And it was basically, she went out with some samples in the back of her car and she says, all we want to do is to sell and design one kitchen to our network a month. That will bring us enough income to, you know, to help us whilst we're on a property journey. In the second month, Big Mouth Roops tells everybody, tell everybody what you're doing, man. And in our second month, we've done 6 projects. From there, we accelerated it. We got our own first showroom, which I'm in at the moment. I was working very much in the background, bringing lead generation, talking to people about it. Tracy was setting up the business. That was hard, really, honestly. Greg, if you start from ground zero building a business, hard work. Well, that's how it started. Tracy is not only my life partner, but then we're becoming business partners as well.
That's not easy. Some people can't even visualize the idea of it.
Right.
Given your background in operational management, how they helped you or maybe didn't help you because you still had some issues in terms of the delegating. Is that delegating the key that you find out and when you solved it, it actually made a huge impact?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Tracy calls me the master delegator. I was also going through a mindset rewire from corporate to entrepreneur because you've been doing it in such a particular way. First thing. Secondly, you must appreciate that on big companies, whether there's banking or finance or services or whatever it is, or you just lean on them, you ring them up, it's set up for you. But when you're your own business, you haven't got that. So setting all of that up, product to service, to operations, to finance, to marketing, the big areas that you need to look at. Firstly, be self-aware. Secondly, drop your ego. And thirdly, respect people who are on their development curve as well.
How supportive were you to one to another in terms of, you know, getting that development? Because at that point, I'm assuming you were still developing with one of the mentorship programs. Is that right?
Tracy supports me. She's like my number one fan, cheerleader, supported me all the way through, still is 100%. But she's got no real interest in property, understands the value of it, but it's not her flow. It's not her jam. But she really appreciates what it can bring, as in our lifestyle, etc. She does love the kitchen side of it and designing. She's a creator. She's a very good implementer as well. And with marketing, she's very much a visionary as well. So she was obviously giving me a lot of information and helping me and supporting me. What she needed, I was trying to get her on the same mentorship as me. The beauty about it is her mentorship and my mentorship, there's a yin to the yang with it.
You're getting all of the support from Tracy, despite the fact she wasn't really into that property game that you were doing. But having a supportive partner is very important. And for them to understand what you're doing and get that support really makes it easy. So for someone who's thinking about, I want to leave my career, and you do have a support of your partner, just remember, they're going to be there to, to almost like hold your hand if something goes wrong, because the things will go wrong. So having a good partner, supportive, it is quite important. And I'm so glad that Tracy found her jam and her development program circle. Although that you're both doing it in a different programs, I think that's also quite good because you can exchange the experience and knowledge you're gaining. So if anything, you're like doubling the opportunities to succeed.
Absolutely. And one thing we won't do is shove it down each other's throats, as in like the information or the try. It's like, what is ready for the business at that time? Know what to do at that time.
Being at that exact moment, let's talk about your achievements: building a new home from scratch, winning a Mastermind spokesperson of the year, hosting your PIN meeting, and starting the family business. Which one are you most proud of and why?
When I look at Tracy's development and where the kids are, we haven't gone without, but we sacrificed a little bit, which is fine. And I look at the kids and they're smiling. I think that's my biggest achievement. And everyone's happy because nice Ferraris and cars can come and go, right? But the kids' health is really important. And
well, actually, I heard the Ferrari is not a really comfortable car to drive.
I don't think I could get back. I don't think I can get. I'll probably get in it. I don't think I'll get out of it.
It's a great toy, but is it comfortable? No, it's not. So
I'm really proud of all of it. We're still here. I'm talking to you about this. I didn't want to sugarcoat anything and have a load of vanity about it. The sanity is this does take time. You play the long game with it. Try to stay ahead of the curve with decisions and actions to ensure that you got that steady growth. Look after your customers, look after your team. And I think it all comes together. But also, you can't do it all on your own.
You mentioned long game. Can you just explain to the listeners what does the long game is for you?
I know we haven't talked about wealth dynamics, but I'm a Blaze. I believe you're a Blaze too.
I'm a dynamo.
Dynamo, my bad, yeah. A Bill Gates quote was, people overestimate what it can do in 1 year, but underestimate what it can do in 10 years. I'm 54 years old now. Pretty much my teenage years all the way to my 40s, I was a beast. As in the NHS record, I was a beast. I was sort of no fit with it. It was like, but it causes issues. And then I thought, right, I need to do something. Amount of times I did different diets over small periods of time. It'll come off, it'll go back on. And when it come back on, it'll go. And I thought one day I said, right, look, I was in my early 40s. It's got to change, right? I've got to change. Basically, from 44 to 54, I've lost 5 stone.
Well done to you.
That's the long game. It's like, be consistent over a long period of time. So don't try to build Rome in one day. Can make sure you build something every day, or you invest that discipline every day. And if the pendulum swings the other way, it's okay. Get back on track. Just do a little bit every day of the right stuff.
Almost like a clarity to understand where you'd like to be and what would you like to achieve over a period of time, because we focus on tomorrow so much that we don't even see that actually what's going to be after we have hundreds of tomorrows.
Just do a plan. Right? Just do a plan, make sure it's meaningful, and that plan needs to suit your why. Your why needs to be very strong with your plan, because like a diet, people start it, great intentions, and then you go on holiday and then you fall off the wagon again. If your why is, I want to be fit for my kids, so at 65, I want to be a fit 65. So let's work hard now and keep at it. But if I was going to go, oh, I want to go and lose weight because I want to look good on the beach for 3 months, there's no consistency there, is it, thereafter?
Mastermind spokesperson of the year 2022. Tell us about that award.
Yeah.
What did you do during the program that let your peers to actually vote for you?
When I first started Mastermind, I did a 6 week PLO course, brilliant. And then when I was doing 6 weeks, Simon invited us on to strategy implementation live. It was all online because of the COVID restrictions, etc. Part of that was a brilliant 3 days full of brilliant information, strategies, and speakers, etc. Really good. One part of it was when he had his current masterminders who had been chosen to stand on stage, tell the audience about their journey. Then people voted who the spokesperson of the year was. All of the speakers were brilliant that day. Some of our good acquaintances and good friends as well. And Steve was really resonated with me, and I loved it. And then the following year, this time we were live in a studio in a conference hall because of COVID restrictions being dropped. They were asking like people who would like to be nominated for Mastermind spokesman. I went up there, I told people my journey, and then I went up there and then they pulled it out and they said, this year is Rupen Patel. And I thought, bloody hell, right? That is like
So
amazing.
sometimes
But
it's not what you actually achieve, it's what you do experience in your journey that helps other people to follow or just help them an inch in on their journey.
in what I'd said on my speech, and I was like, when I got a little bit of money from my departure with some severance, I put £4,000 in each of the kids' accounts. That's their a little bit of education money for them, like, God forbid anything happens, and that you can grow and compound up until they're right. So I'd withdrawn the children's money to help me. They were my very first investors. And then I put the money back with interest in their accounts. They were my youngest and my first investors. And people resonated with it. To know that it helped somebody, Greg, was like, tick the massive box for me, mate. Massive.
Absolutely. Rupen, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who are considering starting a business in properties or actually design? What one lesson you wish you'd known earlier?
The one thing I would say, choose your winner and ride that one and play the long game with it. Whatever you choose to stay persistent with it, you will go through hard times with maybe cash flow, hard times with lead generation, but stick to it. Do you know that picture of the guy digging a tunnel and they get to the end and they
Yes.
turn back round, but the diamond is on the other side, right?
Yes,
It's
I
about
do.
like
I do.
2 inches. Yeah, just like that's my biggest thing. I would probably share with your audience.
Thank you. And what's your future plans? Where do you see the Master Properties and Kitchens with Tracy heading in the future? And any exciting projects or goals that you might have on the horizon?
We do a strategy session. Tracy started to, she needed me to help her and work with her more. I've now stepped back a little bit from property because I put 70 to 80% of my time into the kitchens and it's paying fruition. We've taken on some new staff. We're looking at another outlet, working with manufacturing, working supply chain. So now we're looking to scale that up. And there is a synergy. But on the property side, though, Greg, I'm still looking for a couple more HMOs, but just tweaking the strategy more for
Hmm.
long-term leases. We're looking at more developments now with planning permissions and knowing that they've got a massive focus on new housing. So we just put in an offer for a donor house with land so we can build. The only issue is my only little gripe is solicitors just need to do the solicitor thing, not the commercial thing. Yeah, do the litigation. Don't be a
Uh,
business coach.
you just pressed a very sensitive button. Currently, we're going through a property legals, and there will be now 5 different solicitors being involved in that purchase. And if they only could work together as a one team, that would just be absolutely a dream come true for me and what we are currently doing on this project. But yes, I totally
100%.
understand.
Yeah.
And my friend, before we wrap up, I've got one important question to ask. How do you stay motivated and inspired, and especially when balancing multiple entrepreneurial roles?
It's the why. It's not energy all the time, you'll burn out. It's like having that time pretty much 5 o'clock in the morning, meditate, journal, drink water, gym by 6, half 7, into the office, do the office day, right? And then just having that time with the kids in the evening. So it's just like I just doing stuff that will keep me motivated all the way through. Procrastination's a killer, and I used to be a bad procrastinator. Eliminate that, lean on people, empower people, be kind to people, even if they're being a bit shit to you, just crack on. Just put good karma out there. I sound like, if you heard me 10 years ago, my ego was up there as, like very bossy and all that. But actually, I've learned to be more motivated, more happier by the way I'm running my life now. And I've done that through having, and I'll personally give myself a pat on the back, having the courage to make them changes. And it takes courage to make them changes. We're only here for a short time. And I think, it's all about the people, and what you put out there is really important.
100% couldn't agree anymore. Rupen's story is one of the transformations from a well-established career into a property development and now into kitchen designs. If you are looking to be inspired, you have to watch a full story about Rupen sharing with us today. And I am so grateful for you being able to share your story on my podcast with the audience that I can't thank you enough. And Rupen, is there any final words that you could offer out to the audience today?
Oh, there's loads, right? But we can't do another hour of podcast, right? Figure out what you want to do. Have that time. Are you happy where you're at? If you're not happy, what needs to change? If your why's strong enough to make that change, get it out there. Make them actions into reality. Life is long, but life is also short. Go and enjoy it. Make sure you're around the right people and just go for it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rupen. It's been absolutely pleasure to have you here today.
Thank
And
you.
I'm so glad that you could join us and join me. And it's been brilliant. My friend, thank you so much. And see you again. And everyone else, thank you for listening. And I'll, welcome you to the next episode, which will come next week. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.